Well, again, this entirely depends on the appetite of the investor himself. What I tend to do, so just to cut it short, basically, I take on £100 profit per room, per location, right? So if I don't get £100, I don't take the deal because I need to have at least £100 per room. If I got 5 rooms, I got £500 a month. 6 rooms, £600 a month. My profit margin is £100 straight on. But yes, and again, it depends on on your appetite. So if you want to develop a relationship with landlords, or you want to get as much deals as possible, you can knock it down to 80, £60 a room. It entirely depends on your appetite. So, but once you've established, you can always try to reduce it by, if you've got more properties, if you've got, say, 5, 6, 7 or 8 properties, if you're making £90 or £80 per room, it's still lots of money at the end of the month.
Great. And please, can you tell us, how did you get your 4 HMO properties?
Well, how did I get my 4 HMO properties? I got these HMO properties shortly after I've been to Samuel Leeds crash course. Basically just doing the groundwork, really. Most of them were from referral from other landlords, and the other ones are the other 2 was me sourcing them. Basically, how did I get them? I went on Rightmove, organized viewings with the agent, and then reorganize a viewing where I meet the landlords, explain what I do to the landlords, brief by brief, what sort of thing I do, who my clients are. Talked about my property portfolio as well, just to increase the confidence to the landlords, and then they were happy to struck the deals with me. The other 3, one was from an agent, the other 3 was direct to landlord. So I approached the landlord. I think that the other 3 was from Gom3 actually. So I went in, organized the viewing with the landlord, asked him what he wants out of these properties. And he told me what he wanted. He wanted to sell the other 3. One wanted to sell. I asked him what he wants to sell, and then I offered him this rent-to-rent stuff because he was just tired of the property. He thought he would not rent, etc., etc. And the other 2 wanted just guaranteed rent, basically just fed up of managing it. Then I told them I can provide them the guarantee rent as well as minor repair and maintenance, and they were happy with it, and then just do the deal. But what makes the landlords want to do business with you is because they've seen you've done it. Once you've got the experience, you can show examples. It becomes a lot easier for you because you can tell, okay, if you want to know a bit about me, there's a landlord down the road or there's an agent down the road. Here you go, this is their number. Give them a call and ask them anything about myself. That then bring the confidence for them to be able to hand the properties over to you. But yeah, I was able to get them. And again, I will say to people, I've met so many investors that just want the perfect property or a dream property, right? So they can just continue doing it, That is fantastic. That is an ideal world. But when you want to go into business, right, you need to focus on what you can do to add value, either to the individual or to the property itself. I see no reason why a landlord would do a property in a 5-star standard and give it to you for rent or manage. He could do it himself, or he can give it to an agent. Why he's giving it to you is because 1, he hasn't got the time to manage it. 2, he's struggling. 3, he hasn't got time. So if you come in, for example, if you've got a property that is not good, you can get a great deal. Like 2 of the properties are like that. They are literally, nobody can live in the properties. I took them on. I struck a deal to the landlord. I can take this property off you, I told him, with a guaranteed rent, right? But I need rent-free period because I need to do this property up to a standard that is acceptable to me and my client, and we share the refurbishment cost, right? He thought I was crazy then. He said, no, I'm not going to do that. Why would I give you rent-free and she had the cost of refurb. I said, well, you can see how your property look, and I can assure you once I've taken this property, you will be surprised when you see it. Right, so again, he went back. I did not force him into it. I said, go and think about it. Perhaps you want to give me a call once you settle with your partner in terms of the deal I've just told you. And then he came back to me and said, you know what, Raheem, I think it's a good deal. As long as you can refurb the property, I can get the receipt. I'm happy to go 50-50 and I can give you 3 months rent free. And then I told him, okay, that's fine, fantastic. I think that's one of the videos I shared on Facebook, one of the properties that I did the refurb work. The plan was I was going to do it for, say, a month or so. I was able to do, I think, within 2 weeks, I can't remember now. Within a week, I was able to complete all the refurbishment work, all the furniture, everything the property was on, and 4 rooms was let before we even complete the refurbishment. And again, this is about seeing what value you could add to the property, right? You don't expect to have a 5-star property. You have to put your touch into it. You know, I've seen lots of investors that has approached me and told me, oh, I need a property, but I haven't got the property I wanted. Then I asked them, what sort of property do you want? They start explaining, oh, I need properties that have been fully refurbished, fully decorated, got all the stuff in it. That's like, why would somebody give that to you? They won't. They would rather do it themselves. The reason why landlords are giving you their property because of the 3 reasons I've just outlined previously. If they have time to do all that, they will have time to manage it and get the right tenant in it. So always you think about how you can add value. That's all I would say, and what your target market is. Don't expect to have the perfect property. You need to make the property the way you want it. You know, that way you create credibility with you and your landlord, attract tenant, and referrals will come from that. Referrals from tenant, referrals from landlords. Because if you treat their properties nice, especially if you take them when they were crap, yeah, if you do them up, they walk in and surprise, what they would do next is to tell their friends. And most landlords got friends that are landlords. What would happen? They would then give you your property. For example, 50% of my properties are from referrals. You know, so I don't really market it. It's from landlords to landlords, landlords to landlords, because they know when I take on their property, I will, once I've given them my word and I look after the property, they're happy and they will never complain. So, and again, just make sure the location is right. You can attract the tenant that you're looking for. If the property is not in the situation you expected it to be, negotiate the rent. You know, ask for rent-free period. Knock the rent down, and or ask the landlord if you could go on 50-50 in doing the refurbishment work. That would work greatly, and you can get amazing deals with that sort of strategy.